Hello, so I just received my iPod Touch device and we're going to go ahead and take it out of the box and see what we need to do next. So I'm going to start by just peeling off this little thing. And I know that this is my device because on the back of it, it will have a name and an asset tag number, or it will have a PRN for the PRN devices, and those will show on a little sticky on the back. So when I first come in to turn on my device, I'm going to click on the little button at the top, and this is my sleep wake button. And then the first thing I'll need to do is slide to unlock. So I'm going to slide that over, and then it's going to ask me for a passcode, and the passcode is my facility number. So I'm just going to put in that passcode. Once I enter the 4 numbers in, it's going to come in and move to the home screen. So this is my home screen, and there are other screens, and I can see those by moving over. So I do have my smart is on another screen on the side. So I'm just going to swipe my finger back and forth, and that moves the screens back and forth. Then if I want to move to an icon, I can press on it and it'll bring up that particular icon that I pressed on, and this little button down here at the bottom that is a circle with a square in it, if I press that, it'll take me back to my home screen. Now sometimes I push on an icon and I hold my finger on it too long, and all of the icons begin to shake and move. If I do this unintentionally, then I can come down here and press my little home button again, and they'll stop shaking. If I want to move an icon from one screen to another, I can hold it and let it shake, and then I'm going to sort of swipe it and move it over, and then I can move it around. But I'm going to be careful not to click on the little X, because the little X will actually delete it. So then I just click on my little home button again, and then they'll stop shaking. So in order to access the training for the device, the instructions tell me the first thing I need to do is go to Safari. So I'm going to go to Safari, and if I have a bunch of things pulled up already, then when I go to Safari, I'll click down in the corner, and there's a little square that has a number in it. And I'll just close those so that it looks more like what it's going to look like the very first time somebody comes into the application. So this is the blank screen. If there were no other websites that were accessed, then it will look like this screen. I'm going to click, and when I click or touch, I can't use my fingernail. Nothing will happen with my fingernail. I have to use the pad of my finger. When I do that and I touch in an area where it wants me to put in information, my keyboard will automatically pop up. So I'm going to put in the address of the training, and it's Smart Training .sse learn .com, and there's a little .com at the bottom, so I'll put that in. Now if I'm having a hard time, and when I first started out it was I had to get used to where to click on the keyboard. The other thing that you can do to pick letters is actually run your finger over the letters until you find the one that you want, and then let go, and it'll put that letter in. So if you're having a hard time just tapping, you can do this method as well in order to find different letters. So once I have my address in the top, I'm just going to click on Go. And this will bring up my training. So I have to put my username and password in for the training, and my username and password when I first start are exactly the same. They're my first initial, my middle initial, my last name, and then @rehabcare.com. And if I make a mistake, I can use my little backspace. To get to the at button, I'm going to click on the 1, 2, 3, and then I'll click on my ABC to get back to my letters. And to get to my dot, again, click on the 1, 2, 3, and then back to the letters. Same thing for my password when I first start. And then I can click right on the screen on Submit. So this is my initial screen for training, and I have to see the movies. I have to watch the movies before I can take the exercises. So I'm going to click on my first movie. It's going to pull up this movie in a different screen. So then I'm going to click on Introduction to Smart Mobile Movie, and it'll tell me that it's loading. In the very first screen, I get a welcome screen. So there are slides before the movies. So I'm going to review my screen, and then I actually have to put my finger on the screen and just move it so that I can scroll down on the screen to get to my next button. The next screen I see will be a slide that tells me what I'm going to learn, and these two slides will precede all of the training movies. I'm going to review that information, and again I'm just going to swipe my finger on the screen so that I can get down to my next button. Now in the beginning you may accidentally hit another button to bring up just because you're trying to tap at the bottom. If it's not a screen that you want, you can just click done and it will go back to where it was. So I'm going to click my next button, and it's going to give me the option to play the movie. So at this point I'm going to click on the play movie, and then I'm not going to do anything, and this is really important. You need to let these movies load themselves. So I'm not going to press the play button. I'm just going to let the movie start on its own, and it will have audio as well, and it will start by itself after it's loaded, and you'll have a much better experience if you let it load by itself. Depending on the connection for your Wi-Fi, it may take a few minutes the first time. So if you want to click on the play movie and set it down and then come back, you can do that, but that will allow it to load and it will play on its own. The very first movie is actually the one that takes the longest to load, and the others will take a little bit less time.
To launch the Smart Mobile application, locate and tap the Smart TX icon. The first screen you will see after the application loads will be the login screen. Here you will enter your username, which consists of your first initial, middle initial, and your last name.
So what the movies will do is they will walk you through a demonstration of everything that you're going to be asked to do as you're using your device. So it's a good overview. If you need to pause your movie, you can touch on the screen and it'll bring up the bar at the bottom, and I can pause. I can click back on my home screen to get back to my home menu, and when I go back in, I'm going to have to reload my information. So it'll take me back to where I was if it's been a short period of time, but if it's been a longer period of time, I may actually want to, sorry I pressed the wrong button, I may want to go back to my initial launch screen, and if I move it down, there's a little arrow up in the top that looks like a circle. If I press the wrong thing, I'm just going to cancel. I can press that little circle and it will reload the screen that I'm on. So that's just a quick overview of how to get into the device. Thanks so much.